Hi everyone, this is Dee with the Paper Drawer. I wanted to share with you my finished altered file folder. This is on reserve for someone, and if that person decides or change their mind that they want to pass on it, I'll go ahead and take the reserve off in my Etsy shop. But I wanted to share it with you today, and this was inspired by Donna at Past and Pages, and I had made one for myself and I had done a video on it. This one's very similar, but this one has quite a bit of vintage ephemera. I've used original documents and papers and that sort of thing in it, so it's pretty special. But this is the cover. Okay, I'm going to have to slide this back and forth because I'm not going to be able to get it all in range. So here's the inside cover. It's got some old book page on it. Here's a vintage bridge scorecard. It came in a tablet. Didn't have a year on it, but it's very old. It came in actually a booklet with a floral cover. Never seen that before. Found that at an antique shop. Found this at the antique shop also. It's just a bookmark. Well, actually, it's an auction score sheet. But anyway, it was really pretty. No date on it also, but it is vintage. Let me see if I'm on camera. Here's this page here. Just some doilies. Everything's coffee dyed. All the pages are reinforced with fabrics in muslin. Here's this page. This is an old ledger. It didn't have a date. Oh, it says 1958. So it's just an old ledger. This is a part of a bank check. They were blank checks. And then this is a ledger or a guest ledger, I guess, at a hotel. And then I just coffee dyed, added some fabric, coffee dyed the fabric. This page has a blank ledger, part of a ledger page you can journal on. This is a 1940 appointment calendar. I've got the whole book of this. And then just some coffee dyed paper that you can journal on. This page is just collaged. This frame came from one of the photo albums, the 1800 photo albums that I have. And then just, little scraps of original paper, letters. This is also the part of the guest register at a hotel. And then this is a vintage, beautiful vintage embossed envelope. Can't make out the year on it. It might be 1932, but it's beautiful. So I just collaged on it. This page is actually just a little tuck spot. This is an original document. And I didn't see a year on this. I have another one like this. Yeah, no. But it's probably from the 20s or 30s. Looking at the ink, looking at the handwriting. Like I said, I have several documents like this, but this is beautiful. So I include that, and that's just a little tuck spot. I have an original letter back here, an original photo. I have a little paper clip on this to keep this closed so it doesn't snag. And I have this vintage card, and it's beautiful. Look at that picture. It's a Christmas card, and it's very vintage. I think I have one or two others. I think it's a birthday card, but it's beautiful. So I parted with it, and it goes in this envelope here, and then the paper clip goes back on. And then this page is just a journaling page. Okay, it's got a little vintage piece of trim. This is just a blank journaling page. Here's a school picture. And then I just sewed around it and that scrapbook paper behind it. And then just a little decorative tab on the edge. More journaling space here. A little faux tape. And then I like the strings, so I leave the strings. They can always be cut off. And then here is a ledger from, let me see, it's 1870. It's an original. I just made it into a page. Didn't really want to cut it or anything. I did cut it here, of course, but I didn't want to alter it in any other way. So that's this page. And, of course, the other side. 1870. It's beautiful. And then on this page, just a journaling page, a little piece of a letter. And then this is a crocheted little doily pocket. Made this brown paper. And it's down. It's not a pocket or anything. And then I just put a piece of fabric on it. This is a short page. It's handmade paper. And then I just have a little Tim Holtz clip. And I have a little journaling. Just a picture of a little bird. And it's on a vintage ledger paper. And then it just sticks back down in there. And then comes over the page. This is just a piece of leather, and then this is tatting. It's vintage, and I just made a little tab with it. That's actually, I ran that through the embosser. It was a piece from something else, but I thought that was kind of neat. I just stuck in this little bag. I got this at the antique store. I have several of them, but it's so cool. I didn't want to glue it down or anything, so it just sticks in, but it's vintage. Here's just a journaling page with a couple of vintage stamps. And then here's just a page that's blank. And I rusted some fabric. I think it turned out pretty nice. And then just little strips of old paper. Here's the other side of that 1871 ledger. Oops, sorry. And the other side. This is just a vintage, it was beams and metal, a book. So I have a vintage book on that. Then just some coffee dyed muslin and a piece of fabric. Just a journaling page. Here's a short page, and this is a vintage, it's like a calling card, I guess. Have a few of these from the antique shop. It's just a journal page. Here is the guest register for the hotel, Brookfield, Massachusetts. I have quite a few pages of this. It's beautiful. I don't remember if there was a date on this. I think on one of the pages there was a date, but it's vintage, of course. And then on this page, it just paper clips on. And it's just handmade paper. And then it's just a stack of odds and ends. Coffee dyed. This is vintage wallpaper. Ledger. Date calendar. And then just stationery. I love this page. This is original. It's 1905. I love that artwork on it. I call it artwork, but that's original. Okay. And then this is just a piece of a letter. But I love that page. And then this is just a blank page that you can journal on. Here's my little fabric flip. It's an old vintage hanky. It already had the holes in it, so I thought that was kind of cool. This was fabric that Donna at Paston Pages had, and I just added a little bit more coffee. I think she dyed this with acrylic paint, but it was a really cool fabric. I love the pattern on it. And then this is a bigger piece of the fabric muslin that I rusted. I think it turned out pretty neat. And it's got the holes in it. I did a little bit of slow stitch on it. You can journal underneath. But that's my fabric flip. A little stamp, and then just 2 journaling papers you can write on. And then this is a pocket. This flips down. It's actually a bridge scorecard. And this is vintage. And then inside the pocket, I have an old check, and it's on beautiful paper. It's 1887. It is an original. So I have several of these, but I thought that was really pretty. So that's in there. I have a lot of these postcards. I believe it's Germany, but look at the handwriting on there. I've got some that is just full, and the handwriting's beautiful. So that's a vintage card. Don't see the date on it. It might be 1920 or 1820. But it's beautiful, so I thought I'd include that. And then here is a little journaling, not a card, but a little booklet. So I put a little rusted paper clip on it with a little washer. And then this is a piece of a letter, original letter. And then there's your journaling area. Okay, that's an old vintage map. And that's just the background of that. And that's that. So I hope you enjoyed going through this journal with me. And again, it is on reserve. And if it is, if the person that wants it changes their mind, I'll go ahead and take the reserve off in my Etsy shop, and then it'll be for sale. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.